But first, and new at 6, firefighters' work cannot be overappreciated. They keep us safe around the clock. Their work demands so much of their mental and physical strength.
And with all of that in mind, the truth is most firefighters in America are not paid for the work. The National Fire Protection Association estimates in 2019 about 67% of firefighters in America, more than half, were volunteers. Nationwide, there's a shortage of volunteers, creating a problem that could lead to serious repercussions. WCNC Charlotte's Indira Esquiva traveled to the town of Richburg, South Carolina, where an overwhelmed department says it needs help.
Richburg Fire and Rescue has 2 full-time and 2 part-time paid positions. So chances are good if you have an emergency on a weekend, the people responding to help will be volunteers. But as this area grows, volunteers, many of whom have full-time jobs, are finding it hard to keep up.
But as of today, we're about 80 calls ahead of where we were this time last year. Last year was our busiest year.
T. Melton is one of 4 people who get paid to work at Richburg Fire and Rescue. For decades, the department was run by mostly volunteers. Right now, it has 18 active volunteers helping when their schedules allow it.
We're not seeing a flood of new volunteers. The volunteers we have now are getting just overtaxed. They're working a lot of jobs as well.
A shortage of volunteers, but Richburg Fire and Rescue is busier than ever before. In 2021, the department responded to 1,200 calls, compared to 835 in 2020 and 904 in 2019. Melton says he's asking the county to provide more paid positions.
We would like to be at 4 per shift because of the call volume. That's kind of where we need to be. Realistically, we'll be happy to get 1 per shift just to start out.
Brianna Miro is a part-time firefighter and EMT who volunteers outside of her normal hours. She says paid positions would take pressure off of volunteers who sometimes have to call out of work to help with an incident.
It would take a lot of load off of the volunteers because the volunteers, of course, would still respond, but they wouldn't feel so obligated to respond.
Today, Richburg Fire and Rescue met with county leaders to talk about adding more paid positions. They hope as this area grows, that growth will help pay for those added positions. But of course, this is all still in the early discussion phase. In Chester County, Indira Esquiva, WCNC Charlotte.